Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good evening and welcome to Fade to Black Cinema. I'm Michael, your Bougie Black Brother, and I'm here for my weekly movie review. In this case, it's not a movie. I've been binge watching a couple of TV shows that I really wanted to kind of do a quick review on because there's a lot coming up and there's a lot of Oscar-nominated movies as well as a lot of great shows that's showing up on different like Hulu and Netflix and Apple TV Plus is coming out. So there's a lot of streaming actually shows and stuff that's actually coming out. So the one that I really got excited about because I saw the first season and I don't think we did a review of that was Mindhunter. And if you didn't know about Mindhunter, it's like the BSU, the behavior. I'm messing it up, but it's like the behavior is something that really finds out about serial killers. And if you watch Criminal Minds and CSI and the different things from that, you know what we're talking about. And it's really great series of how those episodes actually started. So it's Behavior Science Unit, BSU, Behavior Science Unit, was part of the FBI back in the 70s. So this show actually started jumping into true stories about serial killers. And it was like really caught my attention, but I heard about it. And when I heard about it the first time, I was like, oh, that sounds like a good concept. And then it said it was created by David Fincher, one of my favorite directors that did Zodiac and Fight Club and a lot of different, the girl with the dragon tattoo, Seven. He done a lot of dark movies. The Social Network. So when you see what he's put out, you can understand the type of continued series that he did, and you would say, wow, what is his new concept? You know what I mean? So, but the first season, it created and it started looking at these characters, and the only true character that is related to is Bill Tench. And he's a really true character. And then there's other characters, Wendy Carr, and I think it's Holden Ford. So these are the FBI agents, and I think Wendy Carr is a psychologist professor who's really helping them walk them through all of that. So really interesting to say how did the Behavior Science Unit actually start? Why did it start? So the starting of it last year was interviewing crazy serial killers that they already caught to find out behavioral tactics and mindsets so they can really be looking out for the new people. And this guy Holden really got psychologically obsessed by it. So he changed his whole personality to actually started looking at these different type of serial killers. And when he sat across from them, you could see that he was excited by it. And it was just really interesting. But this year, the second season jumped into a couple of different things, because at the end of the first season, Holden went through some a psychological breakdown. You got to see it to find out. So you check that out. But the other two characters, they started building their life. So Wendy she's a lesbian, and you see her relationship and the relationship that she used to have, and you find out her background. She's really brilliant. And then the other guy, which is Tench, he's the one that actually had a child that he adopted that seems to be artistic in a way. And they go through some issues with the child that was involved in a killing. And it was weird because he looks at serial killers and he's thinking about how serial killers grew up and the things that they did that will put them later on in life to be the killers that they are. But his son now is one of those, he perceives that. So he's struggling at doing his job, trying to be a father, and really looking at his child, which is not his true child, but looking at this child to say, is this child will grow up to be a serial killer? Because this is the people who I'm watching and interviewing and doing in that way. So it was really interesting. But the two main stories on there was the Atlanta child killings as well as the BTK killer. So we saw in the BTK killer the previous season, and then it's flooding into this one, and then that small investigation is starting to reveal itself. But in between that, the team went down to Atlanta. So I'm here in Georgia, right up the street from Atlanta. So when we got here, that was one of the biggest things. You had Maynard Jackson. You had a lot of other different, Wayne Williams was the guy that was caught. The guy who played Wayne Williams was almost, you would see him and go, oh my God, that's Wayne Williams. And you could see his mannerisms and everything. The directing on here was fantastic. Fincher, I think, only did the first 3, and then he brought some other directors for the back end. It was only 9 episodes. So really digestible, very, very, very digestible. So when you check it out, you would be able to take it. And familiarity of a lot of serial killers across the country, you start relating of, oh, I heard about that guy. Oh, I heard this. And then they show you small excerpts of the BTK killer and what he went through and the different stuff with his family, the obsessions that he had, and just a whole lot of different things that they was trying to research, but at the same time going down to Atlanta to calm down the black community that's down there, of saying, we're going to help, but initially they weren't going to do anything. But it still shows, even through all of this, it still shows that he wasn't necessarily the one who killed all the kids. He may have killed some people, but he didn't kill all those kids. So it remained a mystery. And if you look at it now, some of that case is opening up, and they have some DNA evidence and technology is caught up, so they'll be able to do something, which makes that another fantastic opportunity to relate this to something new. So really, really, really interesting. But this Mindhunter is really a very cerebral, dark, foreboding type series. And again, like I said, since it's 9 episodes, it's not as hard to kind of like, yeah, I'll go check it out, and I'll go, or man, it's going to take too long. It's going to be very, very intense. And the small stories relating to the characters there is on top of the big actual like murders and things from that matter. It's not really gross graphic. It shows some things, but it's not gross graphic to, just give you that just for, hey, for excitement purposes or things like that. It doesn't do that, but it's gets a tense environment with that, and it keeps you looking at it because it's kind of like, whoa, what's next? And so I really, really enjoyed it. But that's the Mindhunter season 2, and very, very watchable and worth seeing. So I'm Michael, your bougie black brother. Check us out, Fade to Black Cinema, on all podcast downloads, and go to Fade to Black Cinema on Twitter, or Bougie Black Bro on Twitter, and Bougie Black Bro on Instagram, and then go to bougieblackbrother.com if you just want to see all the other podcasts that we have, and Bougie Black Brother Network on YouTube. So check it out. We appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next Wednesday on Fade to Black Cinema. Thanks.